Good morning students. Today's topic is photosynthesis. We all know that the plants are known as autotroph. Why? Because the plant have an unique characteristics in which they can synthesize their own food from the inorganic raw materials like carbon dioxide and water in the presence of sunlight. So the definition of photosynthesis is it is a process in which the plant can prepare or the plant can synthesize their own food from the inorganic raw materials like carbon dioxide and water in the presence of sunlight. As a result or as a byproduct, it gives oxygen. Overall, what is the equation of this photosynthesis? Generally, in photosynthesis, the carbon dioxide and water mix together or synthesize together and it forms or gives glucose and oxygen. In an equation, the left hand side is known as reactant and the right hand side is known as product. We all know that. So today we will read one by one components of both reactant and product side. First one is your carbon dioxide. The carbon dioxide is generally comes from the atmosphere or the plant absorbs the carbon dioxide from the atmosphere through the stomata which is present on the leaves. What is stomata? About this stomata we will read in our next video. Next one is your water. The water is absorbed by the root through by the root from the soil, and that water from the root it reaches near the leaves through the xylem. Next one is your light. We all know that the light is generally comes from the sunlight. Next one is your chlorophyll. Generally, the chlorophyll is a green pigment which is present inside the chloroplast. And my dear student, the structure of a chloroplast is very important for your board exam. So mind it and listen it carefully what I am going to teach you. What is the structure of a chloroplast? Generally, the chloroplast is a double layer structure. It has a double layer and it contains the disc-like structure inside it. One single disc-like structure is known as thylakoid. One stalk of disc-like structure is known as granum. And the space which is present inside the chloroplast is known as your stroma. Is known as your stroma. Next, the granums are interlinked to each other. That interlinkage is known as your lamella. Again I am repeating the structure. The chloroplast have the double layer structure which contains the disc-like structures. The disc-like structures, one single disc-like structure is known as thylakoid, whereas a stalk of disc-like structure is known as granum. The space which is present inside the chloroplast, that is known as your stroma, whereas the linkage between the granum, between the two granum is known as your lamella. So this is all about the structure of chloroplast. And one more important thing, we know that there are two types of reaction we can see in the photosynthesis, which we will read in our next videos. The first reaction is your light reaction and another reaction is your dark reaction. Generally, the light reaction takes place in this thylakoid light reaction and the dark reaction takes place in this stroma. The dark reaction takes place in this stroma. Don't think that the dark reaction means it occurs in night time and light reaction means it occurs in daytime, because photosynthesis is generally occurs in daytime only. So both dark reaction as well as this light reaction takes place in daytime only. Next comes to the next component is your glucose. The glucose, we know that the carbon dioxide and waters are synthesized together and they forms the glucose. The plant utilize the maximum number of glucose for the further reaction, and the rest amount of glucose which is not utilized by the plant, that is stored in the form of starch. Next component is your oxygen. Generally, the oxygen moves out from the plant as a result of or as a byproduct of this reaction. And that oxygen which is moves out from the plant, that is utilized by the other organism in the form or in the process of your respiration. So this is all about the component which is utilized in the equation of photosynthesis. And in this video, the most important question is that structure of chloroplast. So please watch it again and write in your notebook. Thank you. Have a nice day.